Good day, folks, and welcome to Best Trade Setup. And in this video, I will be explaining how I define an order block and also one item from my confirmation list, which is a C.O.W, which stands for cord of wood. In the subsequent videos, I will also go through other items on my confirmation list and I will share with you examples in which they present themselves. First of all, we have the order block here. I just need a minimum of two things that I need to see price do for it to be a valid order block. But if there is point number 3 and 4, it just goes to show that it's a powerful order block in which price is most likely to bounce off of it. So the first two things that I want to see, the minimum two things that I want to see is an impulsive move, as you can see this bearish action here, and also a break of structure. The other two things that could present themselves is the liquidity grab and also the engulfing candle, as we can see here. For me, when I validate an engulfing candle is when the body and the wick go beyond the body and the wick of the previous candle, as you can see here. Sometimes you might find the wick does go beyond this candle, but the body of this bearish candle is above the opening of this candle. In that case, for me, it's not going to qualify as a valid engulfing candle. To each their own, folks. Whatever works best for you, use that. And for me, this is how I define an engulfing candle. An order block can also present itself in a downtrend. As we can see here, we have two bullish candles right next to each other. This is the minimum that I want to see for a valid lower high to be formed. And then we have this other scenario here where this bullish candle is within this big bullish candle. That also presents an order block for me and a break of structure and a lower high to be formed. And the other scenario where a lower high could be formed is when this candle goes above this first bullish candle. It doesn't always have to be two candles right after each other. It could have other candles in between them, as long as I have at least two bullish candles in which one of them is within this one or goes above it, just to make that lower high. In a situation where this doesn't qualify as a break of structure is when we have, as you can see, the body of this bullish candle is within this one, but the wick goes below the wick of this one. I've seen throughout my charts that whenever this happens, it doesn't create a valid lower high for me, because when I start taking trades from areas like this, looking at other confirmations on my list, most of the time the trade doesn't play out. So I know when I use these three examples here as a guide to a valid lower high and a valid order block and a valid break of structure, most of the time when I take trades from such areas, the trade does work out. Like I said, to each their own, folks. We all use different things and we add things up to make our trading strategy profitable at the end of the day. Now, this is my point of view of how I approach what I call a lower high and a break of structure and an order block. As you can see, this is a bearish trend. The opposite is true for a bullish trend. You just need to flip it, same thing. And this is how it looks like in a bullish trend, same thing as we saw here on our bearish trend. Now, this is my confirmation list. I do have a couple of things on here. One of them that we're going to talk about today is the C.O.W. Also, it stands for cord of wood. This is what a cord of wood looks like. These candles right here. And if you do look at it on your charts in the form of a line chart, a cord of wood actually forms a W or an M pattern, a double top or a double bottom, as some people call it. That's fine, whatever floats your boat. It's called a cord of wood because it really does look like a cord of wood. Now, this brings me to the end of my presentation. In part two, I'm going to show you how I go about looking at the charts and defining my order block, just showing you how the applications of it. And also, there is a trade from gold this previous week on Monday where a cord of wood presented itself on the chart. And with that, folks, thank you for listening. I will see you in part two.